This assignment review is for Assignment 3, Market Research. In the instructions, there are each of the sections that you can review that explain each of the keywords and some detailed instructions on how to enter the information. So be sure to read that and review the lessons in Canvas. Let's do the walkthrough of the assignment, following up on the examples from previous assignments. So for market, this is the market that the business is going to enter. Remember, in the first course, we examined the market that the Kickstarter or Indiegogo business would enter. So you want to describe the market, create a boundary around the market, and then describe how many businesses or people that live in the market. If you can find some information from a source, include that source in the link as well. You don't need to put it in the form of a regular citation, APA or MLA, just putting the URL number here, copy and paste that is good enough. This is mainly for your information later on that you can go back and see where you got that information. So if somebody says, where'd you get that information? You would have that available to you. So in this example, for the Mateo's Tamale Shop, we chose the Golden Hill neighborhood of San Diego, and we used the boundary as a zip code, 92102. And we did some market research, and we found there's about 550 businesses in that zip code, and about 45,000 people live in that area. And you can find this information at the citydata.com, city-data.com. Finding an industry association. Again, this was from the previous course as well, but looking at the specific business from the business model in Module 2, what industry association would be recommended for this business? We found one, it's a California Restaurant Association, and we provided the website as well. What are expected revenues and profits for this type of business? So depending on the business model that's being set up, it may be unclear or unknown how much you can make from it, but doing some research, you should be able to find what similar restaurants can make. So this may be something you need to come back to after you do the second half of the competitor analysis. When you're looking at the 3 different competitors, you may want to come back to this section right here. And if you're struggling with it, you can leave it blank. I might be able to provide you with some ideas in my comments. But do your best. Remember, Google search is your friend, and you can always type in what are the average revenues for a Mexican-style restaurant and find something, and that's what I did. I found on average revenues for Mexican restaurants are about $720,000 per year, and profit margins being about 6% of total revenues. That means every dollar that you bring in, profit would be about 6 cents. So if you brought in $100,000, it would be about $6,000 in profit. So you can kind of figure out it's about 6% times 720,000, which is, for the average type of business, $720,000. If this was just an average restaurant and you were getting about 6% profit margin, the business owner would keep about $43,000. Okay, and we'll talk about more about the 3 different ways a worker or manager or business owner can make money in Module 4, but this kind of gives you a sense of what's the profit levels and how much revenues can be expected to bring in for this type of business. It may not relate exactly to your type of business, but just do your best here at finding some information. Any information is better than nothing. This gives you a good indication on how successful this type of business might be. Next are industry trends. What's happening in the industry? Remember, industry is all the markets, and it could be all over the US. It's looking at what people are doing differently. And we talked about that a little bit in last week's module. We gave some examples of how to identify some industry trends. But typically it's can be found through the industry association or doing some research online, finding out what trends are happening. So if we typed into a Google search Mexican restaurant trends, I found this one article from 2018 that was saying more Mexican restaurants are opening, employees may be harder to get and retain. That's probably true for all types of restaurants at that point. New trends and different flavors from areas of Mexico or Latin America are focusing on specific regions. So maybe it's not just your classic taco tostada shop, but there might be some different Latin areas where you could focus on and making a really unique type of meal at the restaurant. So those are some of the trends that I found. Okay, the next part is competitor analysis. So it's really important to identify 3 competitors in that marketplace. So if you were at a farmer's market, you would walk around and you would find 3 competitors. Since I chose the market to be the Golden Hill area of San Diego, I went and looked on Yelp and Google Maps, and I typed in Mexican food restaurants, and I found 3 competitors. And I want to describe who they are, what the product is that they're selling. Now I realize that most restaurants have a full menu, so I chose one similar meal from each of the restaurants to compare speed, quality, and price in order to determine what is their unique value that they're offering to customer. I also went to the location and I just kind of saw how many units they would be selling per hour or per day, and I calculated it this way to give me a rough estimate of how many of those units could be sold every day if I were to compete with them. So we want to find 3 competitors, and then you're going to be challenged to come up with your own business and how that would look in the marketplace in order to come up with your unique value to the customer. If we scroll up to the instructions, remember we're using the unattainable triangle example of choosing 2 of the 3 factors. And instead of just choosing 2, speed and quality, or quality and price, or speed and price, instead of just choosing 2 of the 3, we decided to use a 10-point scale where you had 10 total points that you could use over the 3. And so we realized that not everybody is always going to be, just quality and just price, or just quality and just speed. There may be one area where they focus on more. So we decided to use a scale to do the competitor analysis. So for each of these 3 areas, you can put up to 5 points for each one, but you only have a maximum of 10 to use over these 3 areas. So let's show you what we did here for first competitor. I did not use any real names. I kind of faked their names just for this example, just so you know. So there's no real Casa del Taco here in Golden Hill. But we talk about the product. One of the products they have is a plain veggie tamale. And then if we're looking at the speed, quality, and unit price of this product that they're offering, I gave speed 5 of 5. So basically the tamales are ready when I go to pick them up. So they get 5 points there in that scale. The quality, they were mediocre tamales. They weren't very good. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. I mean, it was edible, but it was not great. And then the unit price, it was a good price. It was fair. It wasn't too expensive, wasn't too cheap. So I said, okay, the quality's not that great, but they're not very expensive either. They're about $2 each. And then, so you can see 5 plus 2 plus 3 equals 10. There's a maximum of 5 each category, so you kind of got to split it up. You can either give 5 and 5 in 2 of the categories, or you can split it up here. But you can see that they're trying to create a unique value to the customer, and I determined that was good tamales at a fair price. Okay, and I determined there was probably about 100 of those sold a day. So go through competitor 2 and competitor 3 in your marketplace that you're going to be choosing. Competitor 2, I called it Sombreros. Their product was a tamale and rice and beans plate, so they had a combo that they were actually making it. So it took a little bit longer to make. It wasn't ready when I got there. So if I was on a busy lunch, I knew I had to invest about 10 to 15 minutes to get the order. So they weren't that high on speed. The quality was good. Actually, I enjoyed it. The rice and beans combo was good. But the cheese and lettuce weren't that fresh, so I didn't give it 5 out of 5s, but it was good quality for a very good price. So $8 for the whole meal I thought was good. The unique value is good overall value if you don't mind waiting a little bit. And again, I calculated how many were sold per day there. Competitor 3 is Taco Shell. Again, that's kind of a joke. It's not a real name. But you can probably guess what business I was referring to. They have a bean and rice cheese burrito. They didn't have any tamales available when I went there. And to look at their speed, they were very fast. It was made when I ordered it, so it wasn't ready when I ordered it, but it was made and it came out in just a few minutes. So 4 out of 5 on speed. Quality was horrible. I did not really enjoy it. There's many other bean and rice burritos that I would enjoy better, so I gave it very poor quality. But the price was great, $2 for a burrito, and I created the unique value to the customer. They don't have tamales, but they have cheap and fast food. So they were kind of focused on the cheap and fast of the two factors of the unattainable triangle. And they do sell a lot more. You know, they're only 99 cents or $2 for those burritos that I got. So they sell a lot more than their competitors. They're also smaller portions and stuff. So if I were to create the Mateo's Famous Tamales business, and I had a veggie tamale with high quality, fresh, organic ingredients was the product I was selling, they would be ready to pick up. So I focused on speed was important, and high quality, and the price is not great for the customer. They are $4 each if I sold them alone, or if they wanted a plate with rice and beans, it would be $10. So definitely more expensive than everyone else. So the customer is not getting the lowest price out there in the marketplace, but they are getting pretty fast tamales and they're getting very high quality. And I said tamales made from fresh, high quality organic ingredients that can be quickly heated at home or work. And I'm not sure what the number is yet because I haven't started this business, so I'm totally guessing based on my other studies here. I could probably sell about 100 a day. Okay, so that's it. Make sure you do your own work, and good luck on the assignment. Make sure you only put 10 here for the 3 spots. 10 points possible total. Okay, bye.